Hi, Julissa here, and I am so excited for today's tutorial because it is with a friend of mine and celebrity makeup artist, JOANNA SIMKIN. I mean, she has worked with every it girl you can name: Justine Skye, Amber Rose, Soraya from Empire, and also iconic designers like Vera Wang for the Met Gala, and not to mention some really hot men. Yeah, she's done the grooming for the likes of Idris Elba and Zayn Malik. So feel free to put those hands wherever you want on my face. Now, my obsession with JOANNA SIMKIN started when she did my makeup for Empire Girls, which was a show that I did on Style Network. And I mean, you see her in InStyle all the time as well. And today, you guys are gonna get to see her putting on the hottest fall looks for 2016 on me. So let's get to it. Okay, so for fall, what are we seeing on the runways and in magazines as far as beauty?
So I think for fall, a lot what we're seeing is metallic lips is a trend, which I'm calling it the Instagram matte lip backlash. And I'm seeing glossy eyes, which is new for fall, because I feel like that's typically been a very summertime look, but it's more about doing it with more pigment. So we're gonna do a tutorial on that. We're gonna show you how to do that with eyeshadow and also how to do that with something you may already have in your kit at home. What I have right now is just cream eyeshadow. You could do this with your fingers or with a brush. I like a brush just for a little more precision and a blend out. So what we're gonna do, the trick to this is we've already based her. We're gonna tap it on and we're gonna go lash to crease only with the cream color. So what happens is once we press up into the crease, I'm gonna take a clean blending brush and just sweep the product out. So the thing we wanna remember is once we're doing a glossy look, something like an eyeliner, which is usually how we cheat the look of an extended eye, is not gonna really work. Like, you can't do too much on an eye and then pop gloss onto it because everything's gonna smear together. So we're gonna fake the extended eye look by blending the cream shadow out into an extension, kind of into a wing. But if we had applied it that way, it would be way too heavy at the edges and we wouldn't be able to buff it. So I'm gonna use Milk Makeup Face Gloss, which I really like because it's not overly sticky, but I've done it with lip gloss before. You can use Vaseline. This I would tap onto the ring finger because it's the finger that we have the most control over with the least amount of pressure. Like your index is, you'll do too much pressure. So, and we only want to tap, start in the center of the lid. We're not going to tap all the way out into that wing we did. We're just keeping it on the lid.
Which color did you use on my lid?
The color is called, that's a good question. It is a MAC color and it is called Just Maybe.
Just Maybe by MAC.
It's a beautiful mauve. It's a perfect fall tone. So what happens is too, is if you swept out too far, which we didn't, but what you could also do is go back in with your concealer or a wedge sponge and just sort of clean up this line and sharpen it if you want. Just to sort of, you know, really accentuate it because as I said, we don't have a liner on. This is just the brush with a bit of concealer on it. Sweep it out.
I noticed for eyes, it's all about the touch and the pressure that you apply. For example, even when doing a wing liner, or even like you said, that's a good tip to use your ring finger because of the control that you have.
Yes.
I noticed that sometimes I just get frustrated doing eyes and it's because I'm using either the wrong hand, the wrong finger. It's weird, you know, when you do your makeup, sometimes if you're a righty, you can do things better with your left.
Right, and I think the thing that people forget too is wherever you put a brush or your finger, wherever the product goes down first is where you're gonna get the most pigment. So I see a lot of people trying to do something where maybe they want more definition on the outside, but they start by putting the color on the inside of their eye. That's where the color is gonna go on darkest, guys. So if you're trying to concentrate color on the outside edge, start the brush or your finger on the outside edge and sweep the product in because that's gonna do half your blending work for you. So this is gorgeous. I mean, I would probably, you could do mascara and curl. I would love to like throw a lash on top of this.
What kind of lash are we doing?
We're gonna do a wispy lash because a wispy is always my favorite because it's short, long, short, long, short, long. So it really gives a fluttery effect, and I think we don't want to lose the detail on this eye by doing a lash that's overly heavy, one length, so it looks super dark on the corner, anything like that.
One of my favorite things, which is why I became obsessed with JOANNA SIMKIN's makeup style, is because she always, what I call, keeps the pretty. And no matter what look, how dramatic, how trending it is, she always finds a way to still give you skin and it doesn't look so made up. And It's the makeup, no makeup kind of look, no matter if it's a smoky eye or a dramatic gloss like this.
My favorite.
So how do you avoid having this look crease and just live in the creases of your eyes?
That is the number one question people ask about glossy eye makeup, and the answer is unfortunately you kind of don't. I mean, it's moist.
Part of the look.
It's part of the look. Actually, you know, honestly, even if you open like Vogue or things, you'll see editorials with glossy eyes and you see creasing. I mean, it just sort of is what it is. I think we talked about like maintaining the pretty. It's about being natural. It's not about looking like an airbrush photo all the time. It's about having fun with the makeup. And I actually really love when you do like a dark glossy eye and it does look creasy. It's very like rock and roll, you know. I picture like the punk clubs in like the early 80s or something,
that, yeah.
And like that rock and roll heroin chic eye that's all oily and black and smudgy and is sitting in the creases, and I think it looks kind of cool.
I want to look rock and roll.
Yeah, that's awesome, right? So we have the trick now that I was promising you guys for something that you may already have at home, and that is a darker shade of foundation. I know everyone has run out and bought contour kits or deeper tones to contour with. So my trick for doing a dark glossy eye that's a great nude for fall is to choose your contour color, a darker foundation. I have just a palette of cream foundations here that I use. And we're gonna use that to create the darker glossy eye. So I'm gonna take a color that I would have used to contour her cheekbones, which is just like a, you know, a brown, obviously. And we're gonna apply it similarly. We're gonna go from lash to crease. And you see I'm kind of just patting it on rather than sweeping. I think that's another thing people do too, is they put makeup on and then they ask me why it's not showing up. And when I watch them apply their makeup, it's just being wiped away. Like you want to actually put the makeup on. So I'm pressing it in, especially with a cream.
So with cream shadows, obviously you won't have fallout, but I have found that patting on regular eyeshadows also prevent a lot of fallout.
It definitely helps prevent the fallout, and especially if you did, as we talked about earlier, base the eye with something first, you've given the makeup something to adhere to. So once you pat it on, it really shouldn't be falling out at all, and you won't have to do much cleanup, much heavy under eye, anything like that. So I'm doing the same thing with the clean brush, just sweeping across, sweeping out to create that shadow. I'm gonna take gloss again and just pat it. The nice thing about doing this too with concealer or foundation is that because it's movable, similar to cream shadow versus doing this with a powder shadow, is it's blendable, it moves easy. So you don't really have any patches of too much color. Like everything moves where you want it to move because it's designed to blend into your skin. Look how gorgeous. I'm obsessed. I'm just gonna take a metallic lip gloss. Super huge trend for fall, metallics. A lot of people are putting out metallic lipsticks. I'm going gloss just because I'm like so over matte lips right now. We're just gonna go super, super glossy for a bit. And this is a really pretty color for fall. This is Super Vixen from NARS, and it's just basically a bronze, almost like gorgeous. What's in your jumpsuit. And
it's like a bronze rose gold kind of color.
Yeah, just gorgeous color, and I think perfect for your skin tone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that eye is pretty, right?
This eye is with the concealer?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's like, or you like use the contour color out of your contour palette. But I love this. We have kind of like, I think what happens a lot is the weather starts dropping and people all of a sudden switch to like very matte makeup and it feels very heavy, but it's like the truth is it's still like 75 degrees out when fall comes, and we tend to think of fall as being cold, and we're thinking of like November. I have in my mind right now like end of September looks when you want to dress for fall, but it still feels like summer. So this is such a nice way to transition into the season by keeping your formulas really moist, creamy, shiny.
I love how it doesn't look harsh.
Yeah, everything, and that's the great thing about, I think, just a glossy eye, everything glossy is everything moves. Like you want to look moisturized and fluid and creamy, and you know, no one wants to look cakey.
Oh, that looks gorgeous.
Yeah, so shimmer, and then just beautiful skin, and that's the fall moment.
And I love how you strategically place powder where I'm not gonna look like a grease ball because of the shine that this has between the lips and the eyes.
Absolutely.
I love how the demi wispy lash really brings out the eyes, but it's not overpowering. And would we do a bottom mascara as well?
I would do a bottom mascara for this look. I think it would be gorgeous, just an extra pop. And again, I'm just choosing the same contour color. The nice thing, like I said too, about the creams, because they move so easy, it kind of gives you that smudged look already. Like, you know, you sometimes have to really fight with powder to get it to smudge. This is designed to blend and move, so you're smudged.
And with powder, I find that sometimes, but I guess it goes with the tip that you gave us earlier about where you start when you apply the product. To try to create that smoky look with powder, it's so much harder sometimes because of where you start. It gets messy, you have fallout, and then one eye sometimes ends up darker than the other.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of using this as
this is gorgeous.
the go-to for fall.
I'm obsessed with this eye.
Wow, I literally look like out of a page of an editorial magazine.
Okay, so that is our editorial fall bronzy glossy look. We have shimmer everywhere. It's not OD. We don't have any harsh lines. Everything's soft. It's blurred. What do we say? It's not the Instagram. It's editorial.
Editorial, and we're keeping the pretty.
Yes, keep the pretty.
Thank you so much, Joanna.
Thank you, Julie. I missed you.
I missed you too. Let everybody know where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat. It's all the same as my full name, Joanna Simkin. The website's Joanna Simkin.
And you guys can check out more of these looks with more amazing makeup artists that I'll be chatting with and having them give me this gorgeousness every time when you subscribe.